Yeah, our core business is retail tenant representation. It's finding actionable sites for retail tenants in markets that they want to open locations in. Oftentimes that leads to other opportunities. A couple years ago, we were looking at a building that we knew the tenant had bought land elsewhere. We had been chasing this real estate for a few years, knowing that they were going to relocate. When the site was finally actionable, the tenant we represented had gone a different direction in the market. So we had built such a rapport with the existing landlord. They wanted us to, list the property for sale. And it was, 12 acres in a core market, a tier 1 market in Tampa Bay. So that led to an amazing sale for the team. And it just came organically with talking to the landlord over the years. They liked the way that we operated and they liked the way that we conducted business and gave us the listing at the end of the day.
So outside of tenant representation work, I have been specializing in urban mixed-use developments. I'm originally from New York and have seen that type of development my whole life. And in 2017, the developer of Water Street Tampa reached out, knowing the depth of tenant representation work that we do on our team, started going to dinners and lunches, coffee with them, just giving them some market intel, who would be interested in, orienting downtown. And that just led to them asking me if I would work on the assignment from a landlord leasing perspective, which is something I hadn't done before in my career. And it has turned into the last 6 years of me specializing in urban real estate and watching Tampa transfer into this mixed use environment where everybody's looking for walkable experiences, looking for a live, work, play environment. That has been something that's been exciting for me to do outside of my tenant representation work.
Outside of retail tenant rep, we do a lot of consulting for property owners and developers. These groups know that we host a lot of tenants in our staple and have typically looked at the subject property or the trade area that would be relevant to their subject property. So even if we haven't worked on the subject property, we may have had a comp down the road or have had a tenant that had a recent opening nearby and can, these groups can lean on us for consulting for rent comps or problems that we've seen in the market.
Recently, we were tasked with a $75-ish million project to dispose of a legacy hospitality group's assets, business, real estate, entitlements, FF&E, the whole shebang. And that was an amazing project, something that has not been done in our market before. And, I think to the delight of our client, about a year from when they decided to sell these assets to the closing date, everything went smoothly and it was confidential to the end. And so it was seamless. We pulled it together and very proud of the team for putting that together. And the client, I think, was delighted with the outcome.